Welcome back to the channel. Brandon with Davidson Audio, located here in beautiful Panama City, Florida. We are the Indian Motorcycle Audio Specialists. Today we wanted to take a moment to go over a audio package and the components that are included in that audio package. And what we have behind us is the audio package for a 2020 to newer Indian Challenger or Pursuit. So let's go over what's included in these kits, the different products and options you may have, and hopefully this helps answer a couple of questions you may have. If you've been following us for any period of time, then you know that we offer either audio specific components for the Indian Challenger Pursuits or the Indian Chieftain and Roadmasters, but we also provide full packages that can either be just all the components that you need for that audio package, or we offer them pre-installed and tuned, which is what we have behind us. I wanted to take a moment to break down what these packages include, so that way if you're in the process of thinking about doing this or you're kind of on the fence about it, this gives you the real opportunity to show you what's all included here and what options that you have for our basic fairing packages all the way up to 6-8 speaker builds. Let's take a look at what we have, and then we're going to go over each item themselves as well. So the start to all of our audio package is how we here at Davidson Audio integrate into the Ride Command screen and interface into that. And to start that is with our DSP and our fairing harness, which is right here. So for this audio package, we went with the Rockford DSR1. It's our Davidson Audio fairing harness that plugs into the OEM 2 connectors in the fairing to give us our preamp signal to send to the DSP. Then we have a time delay module here, because if you're familiar with it, and I apologize if you're not, now I'm gonna ruin it for you. You first turn your motorcycle on, the Indians is very bad at this. You'll get an audible pop, because what happens is with the Indian speaker, OEM speakers being self-amplified, you didn't put anything in there for time delay. So what'll happen is the bike will turn on and the Ride Command takes so long to boot up, the speakers and the amplifier are already turned on. So by time the Ride Command turns on and sends that signal through the whole system, and that's what creates the audible pop. To get around that and to correct that, we add a time delay module, which we program, and we do our whole packages to help alleviate that. And what it does is it will delay the turn on for the amplifier. So what happens is when the this is all plugged in, it will turn on first, turns on our DSP, also controls our remote signal that turns the amplifier on. With this module, we're able to intersect that signal, delay it until the Ride Command turns on, then we turn our amplifier on, which turns the speakers on, and we alleviate the issue of turn on pop. So with that long-winded explanation about the OEM integration, move on past this to obviously what sends our signal to the aftermarket amplifiers, and that is the RCA wires. Oh, this is how we get the aftermarket signal, or the signal to our aftermarket amplifiers. This one is already pre-done. You can see we shrink tube, color coordinate everything for the customer to make it a lot easier to install themselves or a local shop. This will give us our signal to the amplifier. On this, obviously, we'll start talking about the amplifier and the power and ground. With the aftermarket amplifier, also talk about mounts that we offer. These are the Davidson Audio /DSP mounts. And as you can see, not exactly the same. Tell how On these outer edges, it's closer to the mount, and then they push out towards the inside. That's because it correlates to the side. So mount will go on the brake side, and this is the clutch side mount. So they slide right up in there. They use the OEM bolt holes here at the bottom. So you'll take the factory power unit out, slide this in here, bolt it in, slide the amplifier, bolt it in as well. We did a full install video on this with our dual amp audio package, one of our first videos, so you can check that out on how we install it. But we will be redoing a lot of our install videos because, as you all know, when you first start any channel, your first videos aren't the greatest. And I know there was a lot of complaints of those videos for the lighting. So now that we have these nice, beautiful lights and people running the cameras, we can get a lot better videos for y'all. So we're gonna be redoing those. Back to audio package in particular. This is our aftermarket amplifier that we chose to go with. This is kind of our set standard that we use. So this is the Evo PS, their Power Sports series. It's a lot more sealed up, rated for the elements, a lot better than the previous Evo X amplifiers. So when you order your package from us, what we'll do is we'll set the gains and crossovers and everything on this, and then we also apply a piece of Flex Seal back here to help protect water intrusion. So when you get this amplifier, it'll also have tape on the front with telling you which color RCA coordinates to the top RCAs and which speaker outputs go to which speaker location on the bike. And we also color coordinate that as well. Now, you can't turn an amplifier on without good power and ground, and that is where our Davidson Audio power and ground wiring kits come into play. So this is our small 8-gauge power and ground kit that we offer for a single amp setup. So what you'll get is obviously nice oxygen-free copper 8-gauge wire that's all pre-loomed, shrink tube terminated on both ends with either a wire ferrule to go to the amplifier, ring terminal for the battery, a waterproof fuse holder with mount so you can bolt it into the bike in the factory location. And these do not come with fuses in them from us because, as you've seen in our previous install videos, we want you to install this in the bike first, route the wires all the way up, terminate them to the amplifier. So once all your wire connections are done, power, ground, remote, speaker wire, everything's done, you're ready to turn the system on, then put the fuse in. Because the last thing I want y'all to do is try to put the fuse in here, route a hot wire through your bike that's all metal, ground it out below a fuse, or worse yet, ground out your amplifier and below that. We have our ground wire, nothing sexy about it. It's just 8-gauge oxygen-free copper again, wire ferrule, ring terminal, all pre-loomed, nice and neat. And then we're also including a upgraded frame ground. So this will go from the negative of the battery to the OEM location behind the radiator. And what the reason for this is the grounding that Indian gives you on these motorcycles is rated for the electrical system that's on the bike or headway for their accessories that they offer. So now with us adding aftermarket amplifiers, aftermarket lights, or whatever else you want to add to your bike, you're not putting extra stress on not only the electrical system, the battery, and also your ground that's not adequate for it. So we went way overkill. This is a 4-gauge oxygen-free copper wire that we pre-loom, pre-terminate for you that will go right on in there. So that way now we have plenty of ground for any audio system that you're going to add. And then last part of the power ground is going to be your baggie of fuses here. So this is going to have all the fuses you need for your audio system, along with, we include a OEM style bolt there to bolt this into the empty spot at the bottom of the battery. And if you go with the single amp, you're going to use these 2 white or yellow fuses, both of them in the fuse holder. If you go with our dual amp package, we'll send you white ones, which are 40 amp, and you'll put both of those in there to properly protect your system. For the next, we're going to discuss our fairing shroud that we offer. We have these custom made for y'all. We took a lot of time. These are laser cut because I wanted the utmost accuracy and I did not want any deviation between all of them. And as you can see, there's a bunch of holes in here because all those holes correlate to mounting points. So I wanted to make sure that not only did this go in there and help protect your equipment, but also that it doesn't move. So here, this is a water repellent material. It's darn near waterproof. This is kind of what they use for boat canvases. And when this goes on the motorcycle, due to the motorized windshields where the arms are and the motor is, it leaves your audio equipment exposed. So once you install this on there, it will protect the audio equipment and it will help shed the water from those 3 locations down to the front of the fairing and away from your equipment, protecting it and also giving you a much longer life on your audio equipment. So the first part of the speaker wiring that we're going to talk about is the fairing speaker wiring, and then we'll move on to the saddlebags as an option. So here we have our fairing speaker wire. Here, this is our passive setup, which goes into our basic audio packages. And what that means is it's just a single run of oxygen-free copper 16 gauge speaker wire that goes from the amplifier, which we put wire ferrules on there, which are also color coordinated, red and black, red for positive, black for negative. The wires are also different colors, so we use red, black for the right side of the bike or your brake side, and the white for the clutch side of the bike. And furthermore, we put different colors here to differentiate what location. So white is going to be your front left enclosure and your gray is going to be your front right enclosure. So we really try to take the extra step to make sure when y'all get this wiring, it's easy and simple to know what goes to where and how to install it. And then this is where we get into our pre-tuned and set up packages. These are the crossovers for the Cicada Audio CH65 speakers. So what we do is we go ahead and we solder them in for you. We Tesa tape them up, and we zip tie the wiring to it, and also give you adhesive or a double-sided tape here to stick to the bottom of your enclosures. That way when you get it, you can make your modifications for the speakers, drop these in there, hook up your speakers, install them, and you're done. And like I said, the DSP is already tuned, the amp's already set up, so you can really rock and roll. Now let's show you our saddlebag wiring real quick, and then we'll get into speaker discussion. The first part to our saddlebag speaker wiring kit here is the wires that go from our amplifier, which again is going to be color coordinated from the wire left to right, positive, negative. And here you'll notice green and a violet. Green is going to be your left side and violet's going to be your right side. And this will go from, like I said, your amplifier to the saddlebags, which here is our Deutsch style quick connector. So these will plug right into your saddlebags. So that way if you're ever servicing your bike or it's at the dealership or whatever, and then you take your saddlebags off, it's quick as once you unbolt it, you quick disconnect this from your bag and your bag comes off. Now once you're inside your saddlebag, these bulkheads are going to be installed into the side of your saddlebag close to where the OEM wire comes in. So that way you have a nice seal on here, nice waterproof connection. These screws screw right into your bag, and this is where your quick disconnect is going to be. And then these wires can be routed along the OEM channeling or inside of it. The crossovers, again, have double-sided tape. You can stick them inside the lids and then simply connect up your speakers. So I tried to make this as simple and convenient and maintainable for you and the dealership as possible. So that's really the conclusion to the speaker wiring. Now, the last but not least, and one of the most important parts of your audio package is obviously speaker selection. So without diving into like a bunch of crazy specs or pricing, I'm going to give you kind of the entry level that we offer and then go up to the 3 different stages of these audio packages for you to give you kind of a differentiation of what speakers we like to use. So to start off our fairing packages for these bikes, that's going to bring us to the Cicada CX65 speaker. This is their waterproof 6.5-inch coaxial speaker. So as you can see, it's got a nice like treated plastic cone area here with a rubber surround, and then here is your dome tweeter in the middle. And then on the back side, this is a plastic frame and basket, obviously a nice seal here, and you can see the magnet on the back side. This is going to be one of our more basic options where the tweeter and the mid are together. Obviously it's a coax speaker. These drop right in. Worst case scenario on the speaker opening here, You just run a little sander around it real quick a couple of times, and then these will bolt right in. The next step up from the Cicada Audio CX 6.5s is going to be our Hertz SX 165 Neos. These are going to be the Hertz Audio, also element treated and ready, 6.5-inch coax speaker. Now this speaker comes in a little bit more of a price point, that's why it's our next option. It has a paper treated cone here with a treated surround here, and then your tweeter in the middle with a rubber boot on the inside to keep water intrusion from coming in. These are element rated. They're rated for humidity, water, dust, everything. This one has a nice stamped steel basket with a nice neodymium magnet, and here you can see the capacitor for the tweeter. So these again can either be ran passive as they are now, or you can separate the tweeter and tune them separately. That'll be in a following video that we discuss the difference between passive, active, or biamping speakers. And then from our coax option speakers, this is where we get into our coax horn speakers, which brings us to our Cicada Audio CH65 speakers. These can handle the elements. They have a compression style horn tweeter in the middle, which is going to handle a lot more power. It's a lot louder tweeter. And then you have the mid bass here. It's got a nice treated cone on the front and surround there. And then it's got a nice cast basket, large neodymium magnet. And this one, if you remember how I had the crossovers already soldered into the harness, you have your mid wiring here and then your tweeter back here. So that way, when we send them to you, they're already wired up to be ran in series with each other, which is passive. And then you can see here, this is our 1/4-inch, 6.5-inch speaker spacer. If you saw our previous videos of installing these, this gives us just a little bit of extra clearance to fit these in the Challenger fairing. And the output of these speakers is absolutely great. They're loud. They get down they play a little bit into the mid bass range over the OEM. Nothing crazy. Don't think you're going to buy these and it's going to be like, you know, your Civic you had back in the day where you had 415s in the back. It's not that kind of bass. It gives you a little bit of mid bass in the fairing over the power band or the OEM speakers. And when it comes to the Davidson audio packages that we offer for the Indian Challenger Pursuits, this right here is pretty much the basics that we offer to start your audio package, whether it's, you know, a single amp fairing package, or going into saddlebags, or you got a Pursuit and you want to do all 8 speakers. We can definitely handle that. We have different packages for different applications. I just wanted to take some time to kind of explain what goes into our basic package, and this is kind of the foundation of all of our packages, and we build off of this. So that being said, I really appreciate your time. Thank you for all the support that you all have done for us, and especially your patience with us as we do this move. It has not been easy. I thought it was going to go a lot quicker than it did, but unfortunately, things happen and it takes a lot longer than expected. I also don't want to forget to mention that we are so close. We're under 200 subscribers away from our 1K giveaway, which is our Braille Lithium battery charger combo. And again, that does not have to be specifically for an Indian. If you are a subscriber and you have a Harley or another motorcycle, if they offer a battery for your bike and you win, we'll talk with you. We'll get you the battery charger combo for your bike for supporting us. It's just one way we can give back. And also, I wanted to touch base on our new location. I'm not going to give it the exact address just yet, even though if you go look at our stuff, you can find it. We're located back in Panama City, Florida. So if you're planning to come down to Thunder Beach twice a year in Panama City, or if you're planning to go down to Daytona and don't mind a little detour, come on over here to Panama City, see us. We can schedule you an appointment, get everything in here pre-set up, so that way we can get your audio system installed in your bike, or if you have one, you just want us to retune it or clean it up, we can do that as well. We love to take care of you all, make sure your audio systems are installed in your bikes correctly, so that way you guys can enjoy your bikes. So with that being said, Brandon Davidson with Davidson Audio, and we're out. All right, whenever you're ready. I figured that's probably where you can do your B-roll. Yeah, just leave it. I'll keep on rolling with it. Want to kind of back out and then we can kind of wrap it up, or want to zip? Are you ready? Oh, I turned it.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay. I was going to say, how is it?
So if you're coming down, if you're planning on going to so